Okay, so the last word is about balance, and I just reshared New Balance to my community post, and I was telling y'all, like, hey, this is crazy. Like, this applies to my career, not just when I had released it, Kingdom Marriage. And so, like I said, God had been highlighting just stairs and balance, and this came about because I've been on the Stairmaster a lot, and one day I was doing my thing, and I was like, why I feel like you talking to me? Like, I be on Stairmaster all the time, but why do I feel like you're speaking to me today while I'm on the Stairmaster? Do you know how much it requires to actually, like, get on the Stairmaster for, like, 20 minutes? And that's one of those things to where you have to build up to that. Just getting on the Stairmaster, just getting up on the Stairmaster requires something. Courage. Some level of coordination, right? So that you actually get up there. But once you're actually on the Stairmaster, then you have to know how the machine works, how to turn it on, right? What's your goal? All right. What is your goal? So then from there, there's different settings and things. What button do you press for what? This speeds this up. This changes this. You get what I'm saying? But once actually now moving on the Stairmaster, now you still have to have some coordination. Now you definitely have to have some balance. That's why I've been doing it for my my core. Surprisingly, of all things, like it really ain't even been for everything else, but for my core, now you have to have some balance. And don't fool around. You can do the Stairmaster and take your hands off, because sometimes I'll do that. What about if you want to do it at an angle and you want to hit your obliques? Is that what that muscle group is called? I used to know what I was talking about. Maybe not so much today, but for those of you who know what I'm talking about. What if you want to do it at an angle? What if you want to switch and do it at this angle and you're not going straight forward because now you have a different goal? You're targeting different muscles. What if you turn around and do it backwards? Because I saw a man do that and I was like, I don't think I'm coordinated enough for that, sir. But do you know how much balance is required to actually exercise on a Stairmaster? I wouldn't call me a growth expert, but when I set out and sharing my story, blog form in 2016, 2017, that's all that it was about. Blooming up, continually becoming the person that God has called you to be. So a lot of people in life, they always strive for more. Remember, the content go-getter. I'm content, but I still want to grow. I still want to learn. That's the Stairmaster. You're going to keep climbing. You understand that that's what it's about. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. There's also an exercise machine called Jacob's ladder in the gym. Okay? But I'm talking about the Stairmaster. Do you know how much coordination and balance that thing requires? So, Meg, where are you going with all of this? I notice, like, when people release prophetic words, especially channels like mine, it's like, if you're trying to read where they're at, you're not going to be able to do that, because I might be releasing a word that's like, really a place that I was in 5 or 6 years ago, whether I'm aware of it or not, especially because I've been dealing with a lot of stuff that I didn't understand that was going on years ago. So I might be 28-year-old Megan might be processing it, but it's something that 22-year-old Megan needed. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you watch certain channels, you don't always know if they're the transparent sharing kind, not just like just releasing words, because usually those type of words I share on the community post. 9 times out of 10, if y'all getting a video from me, though, it's something where I can personally relate. That's usually how I move, okay? And so sometimes even for me, it's like, hey man, say man, where am I at, God? What am I supposed to be doing? And not even so much with just like conflicting times, but what do you do if it felt like a conflicting message? Like, there's still balance in there, right? Like, one day you're telling me like, hey, cut the crap, don't take that, you a queen, baby girl, and the next day you like love them unconditionally, and then the next day you like hey, like, they got bad intentions, this is the demon, and then the next day you like, hey, forgive them. And that's part of spiritual maturity. It's balance. How do you have that balance? It's the Holy Spirit. So what you're telling me is, know my worth, love him unconditionally, respect him, but still know my worth, right? Like, it's balance. Forgive him, receive him home, but know that we ain't taking him halfway. Pick up when he called, but don't let him play with you. Like, God, what are we doing? Like, that's where I get. And it requires the Holy Spirit. You can take any part of the word, okay? That's when you become like an extremist of a thing, right? But you can take any part and just run with only that. There's a whole lots of other stuff. And you got to know which parts apply to you too in your story. You do got to know that. But I'm talking about on like a general level. That requires balance. We can't just execute our lives based off of one book in the Bible, one chapter in the Bible, one verse in the Bible. The word is true and living, and it meets you where you at. That's why today God might be telling you this concerning it. Tomorrow he might be telling you this concerning it. But you got to seek him so you can have the appropriate balance in all of it. God, you said go get him. Yeah, and I also told you to not try to control it. Balance. And balance is one of the hardest things it is for me, because I'm literally like, no, it's either this or that. And it's like, what if it's both of them at the same time? Huh? What? God, you told me, yeah, and I also told you that's how it be. And I'm like, one of those things where I'm not going to understand it, and I've just decided to just be obedient and have that peace and that balance in my life. Now, of course, the example I just gave y'all was kingdom marriage specifically, but that could be anything. Like I said, when I reshared the New Balance word the other day, that didn't have nothing to do with kingdom marriage. It had everything to do with me still being in a place that reminds me of what I've been through as far as work. I went back where I got hurt. You did. But God, you said know my worth. Why couldn't I quit? I never told you to quit, but I told you to know your worth over there. You only get the goals from God. And then that's how you know what settings to put it on. And then you know when to alternate that. Like, when I get on the Stairmaster, I know I'm trying to just sweat and just like, really get it in. I start off slow. I'm a hit, HIIT, in interval, high intensity interval training. I do that a lot. So I'll start off like slow, but then I'll know like, time to take it up a notch. You got to pace yourself, and then I know to bring it back down, because that's what I have to do based on that goal. And you can only know that information. You only know what settings to be moving in those particular first 5 minutes, or later in the game when you at minute 12 and you going ham. You only know that from God, from the Holy Spirit. And you have that comes with spiritual maturity. Like, hey, I must be doing something wrong then, because I'm not going at it. No, I wanted you to do it like that right then. But now I'm asking you to dial it back down. One, you need a breather. And that's for me. And I think January is always going to be like a easy, restful month for me, because then I end up going so hard later in the year, because he's instructing me to, like, we about to intensify this a little bit. And then after we intensify, we're going to bring it back down a notch. Like, but we was just going hard. Yeah, but now I'm telling you to bring it down. Dial it back. You got to be able to move with God, move with the Holy Spirit. Like, it's a rhythm, and it really is a balance. And more importantly, it's a new balance. And me being somebody that, this is the last thing I'm going to say, I went through such a season of, he took everything. He stripped me from everything so that I would learn his proper place in my heart. But not only that, so that I could come out of agreement with different things, come out of different contracts. And so for him to send me back out, and it's like, okay, now you know, now you're aware. Some people don't come back out from that. They stay there. And I'm not saying nothing is wrong, but I know the assignment on my life. I know the goal in my life, and that requires balance, not lukewarm. Hard for me, because I have been for so long in a state of like just hidden and isolated. For me to find a holy balance in life has been very challenging for me. Like, are you going to be pleased with this? Am I allowed to do this? Because I spent 2 years in the house. So that's between you and God. Find your balance. Find your balance with your spouse. Find your balance at the workplace. And really like pace yourself. It really is the climb. Like, him keep telling me like breathe and like it's okay. Like, where am I in a rush to get to? That's another thing I've been trying to figure out. Like, where am I in a rush to get to, God? So the answer is heaven, obviously. But I mean, just with, if God ain't telling you like, hurry up. You gotta, why do we do that to ourselves? So here's to balance. Here's to the holy chill pill. Here's to not being in isolation with everything stripped from me again. Rags to riches. She said that in there. I was like, see, I played that the other day because I knew he was telling me that. Meek Mill Championships. Is it a S on the end of the album? I don't know, but whole album had me in chokehold before we went to California. Like, God isn't lying. He wants us to be in alignment within ourselves so that we can receive. Head to heart. Like, is your heart ready to receive everything you're asking for?